What's going on, everyone? HueFin News coming at you with another daily cryptocurrency market analysis. Today is August the 18th, 2017. And I must say that the overall cryptocurrency market traded down today, which is an indication of precursor of weakness. We're going to go ahead and dive right into it. Not going to waste any time because a lot of our videos from the past couple of days has already predicted that these cryptocurrencies are a lot weaker than what some of these other analysts are saying that they are stronger. So with that being said, before we get started, I want to go ahead and let you guys know that HueFin News is not investment advisors. We are not even giving you guys investment advice. We are just giving you guys news according to what the chart is showing us. And the first one for this evening is going to be Neo against Bitcoin. And as you can see on today's particular bar, you saw how the market came down, but the market ended up closing high above from where the market opened. The volume is just a little tad higher than yesterday, but a lot higher than 2 days ago's trading. So we can say that consumption came in on today's bar, but will it be enough for it to resume its upward movement? We're not too convinced of that right now. Right now, we will say that Neo will continue to trade sideways to eventually lower. I would say that today's bar was kind of a day to where the market participants tried to see how many sellers will come out and sell as many cryptocurrencies as they possibly can. And tomorrow will be dependent on whether or not it was a lot more selling than buying. So we're just going to stick with our current analysis that Neo will continue to trade sideways to lower as it has been doing over the last 3 trading days. So next we're going to go ahead and look at Bitcoin. And on our video last night, we even mentioned to you guys that Bitcoin is getting weak because we had a lot of our attention on the August 15th bar, because that is a key glaring signal for us here at HueFin News that the market was changing. And ever since then, the market has been down. Bitcoin is currently down 4.17%. Last trade was at $4,096.60. So we will continue to go ahead with our analysis for Bitcoin for it to continue to trade sideways to lower. We think that it will still try to come down and hit this 3,800 mark. But if more buying came in on this particular bar for today, then the market would move higher. But the volume was a lot heavier than the last 2 trading days, which signifies that it could have been a lot more sellers than there were buyers today in the market. So we're going to go ahead and stick with our analysis that Bitcoin should trade sideways to lower in the near term, because in the long term, Bitcoin is still showing signs of strength that it still wants to move higher. So I think it's just taking a break right now and just trying to reassert itself to make higher highs. But currently in the short term, we'll say that it'll trade sideways to eventually lower. So next we're going to go ahead and look at this Bitcoin Cash. So as we have already said with Bitcoin Cash, it was showing true definite precursors of strength from yesterday's bar. Today was just a continuation of that, but you just have a lot more market participants coming in and jumping into the market to push this price higher than it has ever been since its inception on August the 2nd. Bitcoin is up 57.43%. Last trade was at $699. So we can honestly say that Bitcoin does not look likely for it to come back down to $300. It looked like it will try to maintain or at least create a new area of support and resistance in the next coming weeks. It could possibly even move higher, depending on whether or not the majority of this particular cryptocurrency that was bought and sold today was either bought or sold. So we got to determine whether or not more stockpile came into the market, or was there more consumption in this particular market, because the market closed, if you notice, towards the high of the very first day, trading day for Bitcoin Cash. So this kind of shows us that this may be the area of support that is currently forming for Bitcoin Cash. So I just want to go ahead and give you guys that heads up about that as well, just in case for those who are in the market for Bitcoin Cash. Because I know a lot of people, once Bitcoin Cash came out, they came and sold it as soon as they got it. And now, looking back, I bet those individuals are like, man, I should have held on to my Bitcoin Cash. But anyway, we at HueFin News still think that Bitcoin Cash has a lot more potential to move higher. It's still showing us precursors of strength. So the best that we will say for Bitcoin Cash is for it to trade sideways to eventually higher. Now, with that being said, tomorrow, if this bar is lower than what it was today, then we will just continue to say our analysis is for Bitcoin to trade sideways. And that's just a short-term trade for us right there. So now we're going to go ahead and look at Ethereum. A lot of these cryptocurrencies today has been trading a lot lower, giving us precursors of weakness. Ethereum is down 2.54%. Last trade was at $292.27. And this still shows us that market participants are not interested in higher prices. So it seems like every time Ethereum came to this price area, the market gets weak. And in the next couple of trading days, if the market don't shoot higher, then it lets us know that the market will lose momentum and it will continue to fall lower and lower. But we still have some indications of some precursors of strength over the last couple of trading days that lets us know that Ethereum is still aiming to have higher prices. It's just not geared towards that right now. And by the market not falling from this point, it's becoming more and more likely that Ethereum is trying to make higher highs. It's just not ready yet. So with that being said, we will continue to say that Ethereum is going to trade sideways to eventually lower in the short term. But overall, the long term is for Ethereum to move higher. Okay. So next, we're going to go ahead and look at Dash. So even with Dash, they're down 4.27%. Last trade was at $222.42. So we mentioned on our video yesterday that if there was a lot more stockpile coming in on the 17th of August bar right here, and the market was down today, then we knew that there was more sellers than there were buyers. So with that being said, we will go with our analysis that Dash is going to continue to trade sideways or eventually move lower. The key area that we want to pay attention to is here at the area of support. And we want to see, will we see precursors of strength created once Dash comes down to this area? And if we see precursors of strength, then we expect the market to go higher. If we don't, then we expect Dash to break this area of support and come back down to the area that it was once traded during the August 11th through the 15th time frame. But currently, Dash is giving us precursors of weakness over the last 2 trading days. So if you just continue to follow that logic, you will continue to say that you would expect Dash to go lower. Next is going to be Litecoin. So looking at Litecoin, if you was watching the market today, you will notice that Litecoin came and traded all the way down here towards the opening of this bar. But now it closed at the very top, which shows us that consumption has definitely entered in on Litecoin. They were up 5.67%. last trade was at $46.16. So now, with that being said, our analysis for Litecoin would be for it to continue to trade sideways to eventually higher and come back into this area of this ascending channel that has been forming over the last couple of weeks to months. We expect that to happen, even though Litecoin wasn't able to come and break through this area of resistance. Now, if it breaks through, then we'll definitely say that it's precursors of strength and Litecoin will shoot higher. But if tomorrow's bar is lower, then we know that this resistant line is now very strong because it wasn't able to break through as it tried to do today. So tomorrow, if it's not successful, then that just gives it more credence that this area of resistance is strong and it's powerful. It's going to require a lot of push to break back into it. And if we don't see that, then Litecoin will continue to trade sideways to eventually lower. But overall, long term, Litecoin looks to push back into this channel. So next we're going to look at Ethereum Classic. Now this one, I really want to point out to you guys this particular bar today. The spread of it is so wide, and the market came all the way down and tested $11.69. That was the low of today's bar, but the market was able to come back into this area of support, and that is a very strong indicator of strength, precursor of strength. We are under the presumption that Classic is being prepared to shoot to make a major move higher, and today was just one of those days to say they can scare as many sellers as possible before they would try to resume higher prices. So with that being said, we are expecting Ethereum Classic to trade sideways to eventually higher in the long term. In the short term, it might trade sideways, but we're expecting it to move higher overall. So those of you who are not in Classic, or who are just waiting for the time to get in Classic, that time may just be occurring now because of this major indicator bar right here. This is a strong precursor of strength if tomorrow's bar is up. So just want to tell you guys, if tomorrow's bar is up, then this bar is definitely a precursor of strength. So next we're going to go ahead and look at is Ripple. Ripple is down 0.44%. Last trade was around 15.66. I'm sorry, 15.6%. Now, on our video yesterday, we mentioned that we wanted this volume to dry up. Today's volume is exceedingly climactic. It is a climactic type volume bar on the volume. Matter of fact, I want to point out to you guys that today's volume is the second highest volume for Ripple. That is a telltale sign that there is still a lot of stockpile in the market for Ripple, and it is not going to move higher until all of this volume becomes less and less and less and less. So given the indicator for today, looking at this volume, we know that Ripple will continue to trade sideways. We don't think it's going to break through this area of support, because if it does, then the market we won't have another area to tell you how far it can go lower. So we see that this area of support is holding quite strong, and we're not expecting Ripple to break it. So we know that Ripple should continue to trade sideways to eventually higher, and we won't be getting into the market here until we know that this volume is becoming dried up, and right now that's not occurring. So our analysis is for Ripple to continue to trade sideways. So next we're going to go ahead and look at the last one for today, which is Monero. So Monero up 1.15%. Last trade was at $48.22. And Monero is still trading sideways. There's nothing too much for us to say about Monero. The last couple of trading days, the bar has been wide, but the market has not been moving higher. As a matter of fact, it's been slowly treading lower. So that lets us know that the market is losing momentum to the upside. But granted, the market is not falling far. So that tells us that Monero or XMR is not particularly that weak. It's giving us precursors of weakness, yes, but the market is not that weak for it to just completely drop back down lower towards this area of support. So with that being said, we expect Monero to eventually trade sideways. It might go lower in the short term, but long term, it looks like Monero should continue to move higher from where it is. Unless we get like a major push to go down bar in the next couple of trading days, which could possibly happen, being that the market is slowly making a downward movement in price. So that's a possibility that can also occur. And for us here at HueFin News, we don't see that as occurring anytime soon. It looked like Monero is still trying to maintain its strength. So our final analysis for XMR for today is for it to continue to trade sideways to eventually making slightly moves higher. So with that being said, I want to say thank you to all the new subscribers who came on at HueFin News. You know, it's our objective to make sure that you guys can finally see people make money in the market without using certain type of indicators, patterns, buying expensive software, because here at HueFin News, we're making our money off of just looking at the bars and the volume. And based off our previous videos, if you guys watch them, you will see that our prediction has been on point, especially like the one on yesterday where we said Bitcoin is getting weak. Bitcoin went as low as almost 5 or 6% today. So just by reading and understanding this language, because every exchange or market, whether it's in the stock market, cryptocurrency market, the commodities market, it always speaks in the language. And we at HueFin News are the only individuals who are able to read the market and give it to you guys the way that we do, especially for free. So with that being said, we want you guys to continue to subscribe, continue to watch these videos, continue to like them, continue to share them. And if you guys got any comments or questions, go ahead and leave them in the comment section of these videos, and we'll go ahead and get to them as soon as we can. But with that being said, that's all I got, and I'll talk to you guys later. You guys have a good one.